Pod in the City is a Sex in the City podcast and thus contains adult themes and explicit content. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Pod in the City. I'm Amanda.
And I'm John.
We're two besties who bonded over Sex in the City in college.
And now, 20 years later, we're reliving it like it's our very first time. And just like that, season 2, episode 5, Trick or Treat. Carrie has a run-in with a tech entrepreneur. Miranda and Chay navigate conflicting schedules, and Charlotte veers into stage mom territory.
Oh yeah, that was funny with the wig, with the Harry and the wig. Oh, the laughs.
He had already bought it. He couldn't return it.
Just like that.
Okay, you know what always happens here is I watched the episode. I actually was like, oh, ha ha ha, I like this. Like, this is okay. Ha, ha.
Yeah.
And then now we're gonna recap, and I'm gonna probably hate it. So
no, I actually really like because I actually did watch a couple episodes ahead, like over the past few days. And I actually do kind of like where they started going with the Chay character. You don't know yet, but like
I liked what they did this episode with Chay. Yes, it was interesting.
This is because it's like, yes, this is how this would be, and it's giving them a little bit more levels. Miranda
depth to their character.
Yes, exactly. And you kind of understand them as a person. So
quickly. Yep. Before we get into all this, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, first of all, this is Pod in the City podcast, Doy with Aminata and Joan. All right, we're here to recap and just like that. We also do other shows though, so make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit like, even if you hate us. Help a bitch out. All right, it's coming into the holiday season. Find it in your heart to help out small creators. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, and join us every Wednesday at 4 p.m. except for today. But the weekly roundup, we'll do some hot topics, some movies.
Oh yeah, baby.
Pop culture shoes.
Every Wednesday we're live at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so check it out. And if you feel like you like us and you want to support us extra, the greatest way that you can do that is jump on over to patreon.com/podinthecity, and for $6 a month, just $6, you can get an entire extra podcast every week. You can get early access to our And Just Like That episodes, because who isn't clamoring for them, baby? And this week on our extra Patreon episode, we did Pillow Talk, which basically means we talk about whatever the hell we want.
Yeah,
and you guys, it's gonna be a shit show, and you're gonna want to tune in.
Oh yeah, you're gonna tell me about your Disney adventures.
Yes, I had such a week at Disney, and you'll find out which Disney treat I tried, which Disney poll winner I tried. So, that's the reason not to check out our patreon.com/podinthecity.
I asked you, did you get laid? And you never responded.
Oh, I did. I kind of forgot I did.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
but I did.
Good.
So not at Disneyland. Guys, tune in. Not tune in. Go to patreon.com/podinthecity and you can hear all about what happened, baby.
But the only news. Oh, here's news and gossip, I guess.
After a never-ending shooting season for what seemed like years, possibly, for And Just Like That season 3, they've wrapped filming. And our girl, oh wait, no, this isn't Carrie saying this. I thought this was Sarah Jessica Parker who wrote this, but nope, it's Just Like That, Max. And so, as one season ends, another begins.
It says, see you in 2025, lovers. I've taken a lover.
Remember when we thought that this would line up perfectly with the end of...
I don't know. When do these shows...
Maybe we could do a couple holiday episodes or something.
We'll figure something out. Or, otherwise we just start with season... Well, because we were going to do the movies. Oh my God, I didn't even tell you this. I was trying to figure out a movie to watch the other day. Mm-hmm. And I settled on like, you know how you just need to like think of, you need to hit the movie that it's going to hit, like that's going to be the perfect moment. And
Yeah.
I was really feeling like the other night I could have sat through Sex and the City 2. And I would actually be really interested in watching that now because, and just like that is so bad. So I wonder if Sex and the City 2 is a little better by comparison. But it's not on HBO. You have to actually, like, that is so, they took it off HBO. You have to like pay for that
Really?
separately. Yeah. Like,
Maybe
what the
they're
hell?
embarrassed.
Maybe. But anyway, so then I started
Maybe
watching
it's because
Uptown
they
Girl.
sang "I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar" in Abu Dhabi. They couldn't get the clearance for it, darling.
Maybe. Good Lord. But anyway, I watched
I
a
like
little.
that movie. It's
What?
fine. I like
Uh,
Sex and the City too.
I think I would like it a little more
It's
watching it
cheesy.
now.
It's cheesy and
Okay.
whatever.
Anyway, that was that. But
Great.
let's get into this episode. What yeah.
I was really excited in this episode because some people listen to these at all different times, but we're recording this like the week after Halloween, and this is the Halloween episode. But I was quickly let down because the Halloween storyline only lasts about the first 7 minutes, and then the rest is just
And
normal.
6 of those 7 minutes is just no dialogue and just Anthony and LTW dancing with each
I
other.
loved that.
I kind
I
of like
was living for that actually.
yeah, I
And it
kind of love
also
that.
includes like Carrie. What bothered me here, I'll be honest with you, is that Carrie, Charlotte, and Miranda, not one of them had a good Halloween costume. In fact, none of them really even had Halloween costumes.
Well, Carrie, I guess. I mean, I guess that is. Anyway, let's
The
start
whole
out.
bit was Charlotte being like, "I've seen you wear this like before."
She's like, when have I ever worn those in my hair? And Miranda's like, last week. But we start out with more examples of how Miranda's going to give me the fucking ick after the cell phone going off and all this shit.
Okay, yeah.
More icks here of Miranda being such a fucking dumbass dork, just not being able to be aware of her spatial awareness. She's like, so there's like this recurring bit. Oh my god, this whole episode was filled with bits. You could like I could tell that the writers were like, this will be a funny bit. This recurring thing of some chair in no way in the way of the door. It's in a corner out of the way of the entrance to the bedroom. But the funny hysterical bit here is that Miranda keeps hitting her like shin on it or whatever, and then Chay does later as well, which I guess is a callback at least. But every time Miranda hits her shin on this, she screams bloody murder, which again, ick. Like, you're doing too much.
Well, it's a whole thing that it's establishing too that Miranda has to leave Chay's apartment every morning before her
In
class
what world are
so
you
that she
doing
can
this?
go to her house to go wake up
First,
Brady.
who's 27 years old.
Wait, he's 20. He's
No,
not
but he's like
27.
20. He's like fine. He
Isn't he
doesn't want his
18?
okay.
Because he was going to not go to college, right?
Oh yeah. Well, whatever. He's an adult.
Okay.
Goes there and then goes to Columbia. No way is a 55-year-old woman doing that. I'm sorry.
It just also doesn't make any sense.
Also, her and Chay's relationship is not good right now. Anyway, it's not even like they're in like the honeymoon era right now.
Well, just wait till what happens later, because the resolution for that issue makes
I would break up with
absolutely no
Miranda in that
goddamn
moment.
sense either.
Would you not break up with Miranda in that exact moment too?
In what moment?
Where she's like, "Come on, let's go, let's take the world by storm."
No, I was talking more when Miranda decides where she's gonna live.
What's wrong with that? That was a good solution to this. At least she lives
She's
by
gonna go
Columbia.
move into Andre Rashad's old office. I can't.
Yeah, I mean that's a better solution.
I
Than what's
don't
happening
believe
now.
it.
Well,
I don't believe it.
Chay is like, "Oh, I heard you get up." So Miranda's like, "I'm so sorry." Anyway, she arrives home at now it's what 7:30 in the morning. There's no way Brady's up, by the way, at this time, fully dressed.
Yeah,
And,
I don't know why she needs to be there at 7 because she gets on the train at 6:30.
Right.
After
Brady's like, "Hi, Mom," and she's like, he's like, "You really don't need to come here and make us breakfast." She's like, "But if I didn't make you breakfast, you wouldn't eat." It's like, yes, you fucking would. They're not like degenerates.
maybe he
They're
wouldn't
grown
because
men.
he's really depressed.
He seemed fine, and he's fine. So she
Chayified.
she comes home with a pumpkin. So now she's got on the train at 6:30, but with a little extra leeway time because she picks up a pumpkin on her way home, carries it back, and then as Brady comes out of his room, she's like, "Morning, sunshine! Happy Halloween! Carve, carve, carve!" Am I right? She's carving this pumpkin at
That I hate. Something I don't like is like really abrupt transitions like that. Which maybe
Yeah.
that's something like that could be diagnosed or something. But I
Yeah.
just like the idea of like when I arrive somewhere, if someone like if I'm arriving at someone's
Oh
house, okay,
yeah.
and the
I need
idea of them
a
like
little
coming out
home.
their front door to meet me
Mhm.
at my car.
Yeah.
Oh no, 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 no.
No, no, no,
No,
no.
no. I need a couple minutes in the car. I
Oh
need to
yeah.
get my things together. I need to like situate myself. Let me approach, please. Please
Like
don't
that
approach my car.
episode of Sex in the City where Carrie's like when Aiden's living with her and she's like, I just need 30 minutes where you don't talk to me. Like
Uh-huh.
I remember thinking she was such a bitch back in my 20s, but now I'm
I
like,
get
I've
it.
never understood anything more.
I
It's like
completely get it.
because you're transitioning into the house now. So it's like I'm transitioning from my outdoor life into my indoor life. And to have a guy like Aiden there, like all up in my face immediately breaks the whole vibe for me. I do need to just wind down.
Well, and someone like Aiden too.
Oh, I like Aiden.
Perpetually happy though, in a way. Like
Yeah.
that kind of like draining.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Miranda, so that's fine. Later on, they're on their way to Charlotte, I guess, is throwing a is it Charlotte's Halloween party? She seems like she's in charge of it. But it's at like a
Yeah.
like I don't really know what it's for because like everyone in town is there.
There was also an
Like a weird
unresolved storyline in this.
with what?
Anthony and the gay guy at the bottom of the
Oh yeah,
stairs.
well, I think that was just a funny gay men in the
I thought later
theater.
they were gonna meet up in the sauna though or something, and they never did.
They maybe cut it. There's too much story to tell here, John.
That guy though was hot, and
Oh,
he
didn't even
actually
notice.
is a Broadway actor. He
Oh.
was in Hadestown, I think. Like in the ensemble, he played like the tall, hot guy.
Oh, the only thing I know from Hadestown is I'm having to wait for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. That's what I know too.
Yeah. Um, did you watch Joshua Henry singing "Make Them Hear You"? By the way, because it's
Who?
really Josh
Oh,
Henry.
yeah.
You
I
didn't like
think it sounds good.
Oh my god. Okay.
There's weirdly like an intensity about him that I think could maybe be taken back 5%.
Hmm. Oh,
It like he seems like anyway, I don't want to get into it.
Brian Stokes Mitchell is like,
Brian
good.
Stokes Mitchell just that has an air like a different air about him than
Yeah.
in a different way.
Well, let's not get into that. But if anyone cares, you can check it out on TikTok.
People are like
Rag time at the city center. But anyway, so they're going to this party. Carrie is dressed. Miranda's like, Miranda again looking amazing. She looks so good in every outfit.
she's
here.
in like a knit bias striped pastel-y colors.
Right? Isn't it in this picture?
Yeah, you can see like a little chunk of it. It's really good. She looks really, really good. But she's not wearing a costume.
No, she's not wearing a costume. She brought a clown nose just in case. But and Carrie's like, I'm in costume. I'm dressed as Helen Gurley Brown, who I don't know something of Vogue magazine. I probably should look that up. But anyway, she's somebody in fashion. So Carrie's dressed up like that. And they meet Charlotte and Miranda's going on about how her schedule is completely insane, which I agree. And Charlotte is what's her name with the curly hair? Felicity. What's her name?
Oh, Carrie Russell.
She's playing her from The Americans. I kind of like this joke. Like this is fun. This is concepts of comedy at least.
It's something.
It's something. And hair, like clearly, I like the through line because later they are watching The Americans. So I like the little unsaid story here that they clearly binge The Americans together and are like, oh, let's go as them. It's a weird costume choice.
I think for me, this didn't seem like a very Sex in the City esque Halloween. No one was really in a costume. I think that like the three women, they should have had them in really like costumes. Like that's what we want to see. You gave LTW a fucking fabulous costume,
Yeah.
and you gave
Best thing
Naya
she
like
worn
a
on the show.
fine costume.
Naya came as Eartha, giving Earth the Kid. She's dressed as Catwoman. She looks amazing.
But LTW looks
good,
really cool.
Yeah, so
She's
they
Bride
keep
of
calling back to
Frankenstein
her
for
and
some
Anthony
reason.
dancing. He's dressed as the devil. It's cute. And then, so I do appreciate this. The fact that they're blatantly just making a George Washington reference. I
It
like
shook me. So
Right. It
there,
shook me too. I
Anthony and
forgot.
LTW have been dancing all night, and George Washington comes out and he's like in a suit. And she's like, I can't believe that you didn't wear the George Washington outfit. I rented you. I was like, what?
And I like that joke. And then later they reference it again, but I appreciate that he was dressed up and he looked pretty fucking hot in that
He then basically goes into being like, you need to watch what you're doing now that I'm running for comptroller.
Yeah, now that I'm running
Don't dance with the devil.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not. I don't want to be seen on page 6 wearing a powdered wig, but fine, whatever. And then Seema's there, and she's like, people keep asking me if I'm Padma Lakshmi. Which
Oh yeah, and she wasn't in a costume either.
No, she wasn't. But she's like, ladies, let's all go to. I know the best place to pick up men at this expensive hotel bar.
This was a really good idea. She said that the best place to pick up rich men is our 5-star hotel bars. So basically going there because they have to have money to be able to like be there.
Yeah.
And that like riffraff from outs, like not just anyone like rolls into a bar at a 5-star, hotel.
Right. Anthony hits on a married man, but then the guy's like, this is my wife, Nancy.
Okay, he doesn't hit on a married man. It's more that he's like, hey, I recognize you. And the guy's like, excuse me? And he's like,
happened to you all
yeah, my hand, you might remember my hand being surrounded by a lot of like steam.
Oh,
that was the joke he makes as the wife comes up. So it must mean that like Anthony jerked him off in the sauna. This has not happened to me a lot because I've actually never hooked up with someone like that in the sauna.
Ew, gross.
I don't like saunas personally. I don't feel like I can breathe in a sauna.
No, it's too hot.
I don't.
Not enough.
Oh, the heat, I don't care.
Oh, I do.
It's the wet, hot air. And I think it might be because I'm from Arizona where like I'm not used to humidity. So then you put me in like an extra humid space. I'm like, anyway, this guy was fine and he was dressed like a Roman something. Like he looked gay, gay, to quote Laganja Estranja. Anyway, then he's like, oh yeah. And then his wife comes out. He's like, I'm married. This is my wife, Helen, or some bullshit. And then Anthony's like, and then there's no resolution of this story.
Like that on the straight man. But anyway, so yeah, there's no resolution. That's it.
That bothered me. There's no resolution.
Now we have, and there's just kind of a recurring bit that nobody knows who Harry and Charlotte are, but they're dressed as the Americans. He has a wig on. He looks insane with a wig.
He says that's what he looked like when he was in 5th grade or something.
I almost feel like he needed more eyebrows or something. It almost seems like he has alopecia.
Yeah, it looks weird.
On, right? It looks very strange.
But it could also be the shade of brown with his skin color.
Right, but that's not the shade of brown that Matthew Rhys has, even when they show it on this episode. It's weird. Like they didn't even match him to Matthew Rhys's hair, which we see in this episode.
I don't remember now. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
You know who
this
Matthew
is one
Rhys
of those moments. Amanda's gonna ask me in the Patreon, be like, so were you? What was going on with you in that?
No,
I am following. I was trying to picture in my head. I don't remember what they showed.
Okay, well, it really doesn't matter. Well, anyway, now we go to LTW in bed, and George Washington. What is his name? Christopher Jackson.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes. He comes out dressed as George Washington.
There's no pants.
They don't wear powdered wigs in Hamilton, do they? I feel like they don't. They don't.
The king wears a wig.
Oh, right.
But no one else does.
Well, he looks fucking hot because he is very hot.
Or at least powdered wigs.
So then they fuck.
He did look hot, but the powdered wig was a little small to his head or something. It made him have like barely any forehead.
But I do appreciate the blatancy of the.
That was.
I love.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
You had to say it. We were all thinking it.
For us. They did that for us.
Yeah. At the Yorks, they're watching the Americans, and then Rock comes in and says they were approached in the park by
Rock?
a person from Ralph Lauren. And Rock is super into it, which does not go at all along with what we know.
Rock is a
Everything we know
terrible
about
actor.
I don't
This
mind them. I think they're really good
Go
looking.
back and rewatch just that scene. It was bad.
And when I say Rock is good looking, I more mean like I can see why they would be a child model because they have a
Ew,
really.
you're a creep, Amanda.
I am pretty creepy.
Well,
At
yeah,
the
they're
bar,
I get why they were wanting to.
they have a
It
good
made
face.
sense. This
Yeah,
storyline made complete sense. I guess.
the baby in Sex and the City too. Like they did a
The
really good casting
baby.
job on the baby, like on David.
Oh, of Rose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, yikes, but that would definitely be what their baby looked like. At the bar. Oh, so they're at the hotel bar, the ladies, the single ladies.
Mhm.
They're all having discussion. This is what irritates me about Carrie because she does this in the first movie too. They're all talking about the amount of dicks they've seen.
Mhm.
And Carrie, again, who has a sex column, is uncomfortable with this topic.
And has
And
also fucked like a ton of men.
that's the thing. So Naya's like, I've
Ton.
only seen 2 because I married Andre Rashad out of college, and my college boyfriend, or like my first boyfriend, was in Model UN. So Seema's like, I've seen so many that I'm not surprised anymore. And Carrie, and they're like, what about you, Carrie? And Carrie's like, oh, I'm still surprised. But remember in the first movie when they're talking about coloring, how many times a month do you color? And Carrie's like,
Mhm.
I won't divulge, but when Big does color, he rarely stays within the lines or some bullshit. And it's like, just tell us how often you fuck. We've known each other for literally 20 years. Good Lord.
Also, like,
Isn't that annoying?
yeah, incredibly, because again, it follows this idea that Carrie won't talk about having a dry vagina. She won't like. She's very like picky about
I'm
what
seeing you
she'll.
fuck everyone in Manhattan in the 6.5 seasons of Sex and the City. So
Seriously.
who you kidding?
And you
And
write a
then,
sex column, you
and
dummy.
you write a sex column. God. So anyway, I'm still surprised by dicks. So great. Is that it? Oh, Naya, a
I
guy
guess
hits on Seema. Naya hooks a
he
really
was
hot
hot.
fucking guy. The guy that Naya hooks is
Mm-hmm.
hot.
Very.
Yeah.
The
Carrie
other guy, he was like, he looked like what a rich guy
Sam
you'd
Neill.
find.
He gave me a Sam Neill energy.
Oh, he needed a. Anyway, we'll get
Yeah,
through
well, so there was a funny line here though that I thought Sarah Jessica Parker pulled off. Well, where Seema's talking to this guy, Naya hooks a guy, and then Carrie's just like, perfect time for Wordle. I thought that was
it.
really
That was good. I agree.
yeah, timely. Still works. I don't do
Timely.
Wordle. I fell off of Wordle, but I used to do that every morning. It was right when I started getting sober. I was like not sleeping, and I did
I think I
Wordle.
did Wordle like 3 times.
I'm pretty good at it. You know what I'm really good at is categories, the category ones, you know, where they give you a bunch of words and you like group them, like, why do you think these 4 are related?
Oh, okay. Never heard of it.
I just lost all my steam.
Get to it, girl.
Oh my god, where are we? Carrie, next day. What? Who?
Carrie says, "Oh,
Penis
Wordle."
Wordle. Seema now and the dude are back up at the hotel. He pulls out a penis pump.
Yeah.
Great.
Have you ever had any experience with a guy with a penis pump?
No, Radu needed one. Oh god, that was Chay is now Chay is now up in Hudson. It's 3 a.m. Miranda's trying to sleep because for some this is outrageous.
This also makes no sense either because like
Miranda, like if I were Chay, I'd be like, hey, I'm having a bunch of friends over. We're probably going to be up all night smoking pot and being loud. So maybe you should not spend the night here. Or Chay should be like, oh, I kind of blew up my girlfriend's entire life and marriage. And this is the only place she can really sleep. So maybe I won't have all my fucking dick friends over.
What I was wondering is like, why can't Chay just get on Miranda's schedule for like right now?
There's nothing else to do.
Like
So,
this is a choice on Chay's side, and Miranda has to kind of do some of her. She doesn't need to go visit her son every morning.
Her entire family for Chay.
Mm-hmm.
So Chay comes in and they're like, oh, I'm trying to get rolling papers. And Miranda's like, it's 3 a.m. I have to be up in 2 hours. So then Chay leaves the room and they hit themselves on that chair that, again, is in no way in the way.
But it's
Um,
a funny bit, Amanda. I
it
laugh
is
every time.
so funny. Um, that home? No. Next day, Seema calls Carrie and she's like, well, I thought I'd seen it all, but I guess I haven't. The guy at a penis pump. And then Carrie's like, what? And Carrie's walking around the street and then she's in a bike lane and this cyclist like runs into her. Now, here's my opinion on cyclists. I think cyclists are the actual like the absolute scourge on society and traffic also. You know who I hate more than that? Pedestrians. Even more so, school buses with
Motorcycle
children.
riders.
No, school buses. Why do you get to
Oh.
put out a stop sign? I have to sit here and wait. It's annoying. I hate all
I
pedestrians.
have no problem with
Get
a
off the
school
road.
bus. I have no problem with buses in general. I
I
have
I hate school zones
problems.
too. I would never live near a school zone.
Oh,
I don't like
a school is a great area to live. Near a school is a great
kids
area.
everywhere.
It's safe.
Is it? Is it?
Anyway, I hate bicyclists as well on the street, but
All
this time,
right, there we go.
Eric was standing in like a very designated bike lane that had full on
Oh yeah,
side
dividers.
railings on the side. It wasn't
Mhm.
even like it wasn't just standing in the street and it was like there's a line painted on the ground. No, this is like what it's like in like the Netherlands when you go
I
there. It's
once
like
I I had a friend I lived in Astoria and me and my friend Shannon like she had two bicycles for like her and her boyfriend's bike and like we a couple times rode our bikes over the Queensboro Bridge and then like
uh-huh.
rode around. I don't know why we did this, but I guess we were trying to be like active or something.
Healthy.
But it sucked to get up like but like once you're halfway up the bridge, then all you have to do is just like glide down the whole like
Uh-huh.
second way and that's pretty fun. But that one time we rode actually through Manhattan, I must have gone to Central Park or something. That was the most terrified I've ever been. I've never been screamed at so much. Like people wanted to kill me. Get the fuck out of the way, you fucking bitch! Like just screaming. People are cab drivers. Like they do
Oh
not.
yeah, no. I wouldn't be riding a bike in New York City.
No. And you shouldn't be. It's not set up that way. Or they
Well,
should just be street
bicyclists
front. I
seem
mean,
to think you know who bugs me more? Motorcyclists.
yeah, but I feel like
Because
they
they
stay
want
out
to
of the
ride
way.
between the lanes, they
I don't mind
zigzag
that
in
though
and
because
out.
they stay out of my way. They just kind of get out of there.
I don't like it because the other day I'm driving down the road and there's like motorcyclists doing wheelies
Yeah, I hate that too.
on
Oh
the
my god, do you?
freeway. What? So when you fly
Oh,
off that motorcycle and I run you over, I now have to live with the trauma forever of popping
exactly.
your
That's what I
brain on the
always think of.
freaking
Yeah,
like. I mean, that sounds very selfish, but you're being
that's
really
always what I
selfish by
think of.
doing wheelies on the fucking
Yeah.
freeway. You're a moron.
Um. Well, anyway,
Yes.
that was that. So Carrie runs. This guy runs into her, and
He
he's
doesn't
like,
really run into her. He like stops short of her, but it causes him to get more fucked up than if
and
he
he's
just
got
ran
an
into her.
owie on his wrist.
He has to go to the urgent
Like, you
care.
seem fine. Later, we find out it was broken. I'm like, there's no way
It
your
was
wrist was broken with the way you reacted to that.
it was this I hated his story. I hated the storyline.
I
I
hated it.
hated the
I think this
whole
guy
thing.
was like famous because I
I
remember when
kind
he
of think he
aired,
was
everyone was
too.
talking about it. Like, oh, this
He's
guy was
he's hot.
something.
I thought he was kind of hot, but
What is this
his
episode called?
trick or treat
Ugh.
very creative. I think that his storyline being that like he was a partner in a startup or something and it was
I
failing.
was on his partner's side the whole time. I'd be like, you need to get your shit
Get
together.
your dick out of this woman and get
Yeah,
your
I'd be
fucking
annoyed
slide
too.
deck made, bitch.
Everything is riding on this guy sending this fucking file. I'd be so stressed out. Okay, what is this guy's name?
This also though is a storyline that is just stupid. Dumb.
Yeah, Chris Jack, Bobby Lee. Who the fuck is this guy? What is this? Would you remember what this guy's name is? George. His name is George.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, you know what? Who cares? I'm over it.
Mm.
So anyway,
He
she's like,
doesn't
well,
last more than an episode,
yeah.
so
She's like, let me take you to urgent care. And he's like, yeah, you're right. My wrist is starting to get kind of hurt. Anyway, they're at the urgent care now. And she's like waiting around. Wouldn't you be like, I don't need you to come with me and sit with me. Also, I wouldn't go
Carrie's
to
a hopeless romantic though here. You know she's like thinking this is gonna be like
I
her
don't think
meet
that.
cute moment. I do.
Oh,
But it
well,
also is being established this season that Carrie is like a big pushover, I guess, who like she offers later, she's like, I just feel like maybe I should just write him a check to like
right,
fix his
because
whole business.
as they're sitting there, his business partner Paul calls and he's like, "Hey, the final copy of that the app is due." And so then Carrie takes that as, "Oh, this guy, this is his actual partner." For first, she thinks he's gay. Then she finds out it's his business partner. And since
Mhm.
the guy was stressed out that this fucking loser is like, you know, flitting his way around the city,
Yeah.
not doing the one thing he's supposed to do. Carrie's like, well, their business is about to, run into the ground and he's about to be homeless. Like that's where Carrie's mind goes.
She
Then
literally was like, well, you don't really have like I don't know when the last time you ate was.
he says that. I can't believe it, because his credit card also gets declined and he doesn't even see it.
But
Honestly,
then she literally suggests writing a check
yeah.
that is implying she's going to save his business by
Yeah.
writing him a check because he
check.
almost ran her into her with his bike.
But if you saw
This is the
someone's credit
dumbest
card
fucking...
like get declined, my first thought usually is like, oh, it's probably like a fraud thing. Like I would never, my mind wouldn't
It
jump
depends
to
on who it is, I guess.
not this guy.
She's heard though that his business is like I didn't think that was that did not surprise me in the storyline at all that
Yeah, he
his
didn't
card
seem
got
embarrassed
declined.
about it or anything. He was like, "Oh yeah, shit, I need to."
I was surprised she didn't just like she didn't just pay it.
But
She wasn't
wasn't
just
that
like,
the
oh.
point of her being there? Like, I don't know why you came if you're not going to pay for this. Isn't that why you're here? To pay for this?
Yeah, it made no sense. It didn't make any
Anyway,
sense.
it turned out his wrist was broken, which okay. Then Carrie's also talking to Seema on the phone, and Carrie's like, "Well, I accidentally told him my name, so I don't want him to like, find me or whatever, Google me." And then Seema's
Okay.
like, "I guess I'm gonna see that guy again with the penis pump because we had really good foreplay, and then we had B+ sex with after the penis pump." I feel like this is not that big of a deal. If the sex was B+, even on the first time after pretty good foreplay, why wouldn't you see him again? At least he's like handling the situation.
Oh yeah, I think it's fine, but then you see, I mean, it all comes to a head later,
Yeah, but I think she's rude in that moment. But I've never done that. I've never like been like,
I don't think so.
if I
I
finish
think
myself off with my vibrator.
I think the idea that he can use something to get himself off and she can't that's the idea of like
not getting him
patriarchy,
off,
babe.
it's getting him erect so that he can fuck her.
So that he can get off.
Right, but also
why
get
can't
her off.
But he obviously can't make her come. Then do better, babe. Make her come, honey.
Well,
I'm all for women's rights, y'all.
Miranda and Naya now meet at Columbia, and Naya's like, "I'm loving these one night stands," and she's like, "Oh my god, I fell to this." She's like, "It was great because we just hooked up, and then I went home and like slept for 4 hours in my bed alone." And Miranda's like, "Oh, I'm jealous just of the sleep you're getting," and Miranda's like, "I feel like I just have nowhere else to go," and Naya's like, "Well, you can stay in Andre Rashad's old music room." And Miranda, I like this line. Miranda goes, "No, you're just being nice," and Naya's like, "No, I'm not nice." So I like that. You're not listening to me.
I'm so on edge about the election right now. That just made me start thinking about it.
What?
I don't know. We were talking about anyway, just keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
She's gonna move in with Naya into the guest room. I actually don't mind this storyline. This is like, I feel like this is a nice thing to have like two women going through a divorce. And it's like it's an easier transition when you're used to living with someone. It's nice to have a girlie.
Yeah, and it makes sense for it actually is one of the more logical things that have happened in the show.
Yeah, I know. I like the storyline. It doesn't make sense that she'd be like, I'm gonna go get a secondhand single bed.
No,
although I guess the plan here is that Steve has said that he's going to move out, which is insane. But next episode, Joan, oh my god, you're gonna fucking come watching.
Oh?
The next episode is where Steve gives it to her. And he's
they
like,
fuck?
No, he's like,
oh,
fuck you. And
oh,
but he has apparently, the indication is that he's going to find his own apartment. So Miranda's like, well, until Steve finds his own place, which again I think is insane because you're the one that did this, Tom Sandoval. I don't know why he has to fucking
Exactly.
move, right? So anyway, she's gonna move in. Carrie now goes to visit the guy, which like this also seems like insane behavior too, because she doesn't actually seem
She's
that
horny for him.
I never got that though, that she was into him. She just seems like she feels guilty.
I think it's that she's trying to like get her groove back.
Oh, okay, maybe. Yeah, that's true, because I guess it does follow through with the story that they're all trying to get laid. She brings this guy way too much soup. His apartment, I hate it. It's very cold. It reminds me of, it's like Big Daddy, the movie Big Daddy, where his bedroom's like on like that's up above that staircase. I hate that layout. Also, I have jacked up ankle. But anyway.
It just reminds me of like an office building in a way.
Yeah, but now she also tells this man she thought he was a poor. It's like, oh, I didn't know when you'd eat again, so I brought you 27 types of
And
food.
he then is literally like look around, like, do I look like I can't eat? Like,
right. Him and his partner developed some app when they were in college, and they've developed, this is now their 4th app, which I don't know how much, do apps sell for that much that it can carry you through like 25 years, but okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. So now
we're in the wrong business, babe.
Oh, now they're kissing, and their partner, Paul, walks in and he's like, did you fucking send that file? The thing that I asked you about 4 days ago? And he's like, oh, sorry, did I interrupt? And then Carrie's like, no, I'll get out of here. And Carrie's like, do you mind if I borrow one of your bikes? Because he has like bikes all over his wall. And he's like, yeah, sure. And she's like, I'm just kidding. I take cabs everywhere. And it's like, you're a bitch. So then we're at Chay and Miranda are out eating spicy food, and Miranda says that she's moving in with Naya, and Chay doesn't give a fuck. They're like, all right, bye. And then Chay is like, the only thing I'm concerned with is that spice on your lips, because I don't want to have curry lingus later. Gross.
Amanda, that line needs to be
stand-up
burnt
comedian
in hell. It needs, I don't know how you can burn words in hell, but it needs to be like obliterated from this earth. Yeah.
Well, now, I mean, that was over quick, at least. At Ralph Lauren photo shoot. Is that it? Yeah, they're at the Ralph Lauren photo shoot. We're establishing.
And Charlotte shows up because she used to be a Ralph Lauren model when she was a kid.
This actually tracks with her character.
I liked this. I was fine with this storyline. It made sense.
Meanwhile, Miranda and Carrie are now looking for a cheap ass bed for Miranda. Carrie's being a fucking rich bitch again. She's like, I feel like everything in this store has bed bugs. It's like,
why are they doing this? We're in the age of like the time when you order a bed, it comes to your door. You don't go to a store and buy this shit.
Like, how much money doesn't
Miranda is a freaking, isn't she a partner in a law firm?
Well, not anymore. Like, she dropped out to now go to Columbia and be like a social rights activist.
Well, she has money.
Yeah.
She can buy a fucking cheap shit mattress.
Right? It's crazy. But anyway.
Mattresses are not something you buy used.
Oh, no. Miranda and Carrie, yeah. So Miranda says, I feel like I can't ask when Steve is leaving because I'm the bad one. So yes, you are. Carrie now switches this into discussing her new man. And now we're back at Rock's photo shoot, and there is this just hilarious bit where you can, again, it's like bit. You know that the writers were like, this is going to be so funny. Harry's wearing his wig and he's trying to sneak in because there's been a whole plot line here where Harry thinks that this is really nefarious and this is fake. And I'm worried about Rock. And Charlotte's like, no, it's fine. It's real. It's Ralph Lauren. So Harry comes in with his wig. Charlotte sees him and she's like, you need to leave now or you're never going to be the fun dad again. And then she's like, I thought you were returning that wig. And then Harry goes, Carrie likes it. That wraps up that storyline. So now we get to this focus group, which I think is the first little glimpse into a good Chase storyline.
It was.
And it does continue the next few episodes.
I think what's really good about this is that so far, all we've seen is this idea that the world thinks that Chay Diaz is the fucking funniest, best thing ever, where it led to believe that this character and this person and whatever is just over the top, amazing. Like everyone loves them. And this gave the first glimpse of even them now getting feedback. and
Yeah,
feeling
this
that.
is
I
the
liked
most,
it.
like, self-aware episode we've seen because we got the
Mhm.
George Washington reference and we have them being
Mm.
like and, they're so in this focus group, Che is watching through, like, a one side, one-way glass,
Mhm.
and, they're like, "Oh, I thought it was weird with Tony Danza was so good, but it was weird when Che was crying." And Che's like, "Yes, that's what I said. I shouldn't cry. It's too vulnerable." And in the focus group, there is a
A
trans
non-binary person.
non-binary person there. And
Mhm.
they're like, the whole idea of Che is like just a boomer
It's like a boomer version of a non-binary person, like a dad joke-ified.
yes,
It's just
and
fake. They were like, "I hate it. I hated it. I
Kay
hated them."
crying says that the non-binary experience is negative. And so
Mhm.
Chay's watching this and like this is a good moment where Chay's like and it was very much the writers being like, look, we've heard what you've said about the character of Che Diaz. So that's what kind of I
Oh,
think
you
it's
think?
weird that they did fire them from the show. I wonder if maybe Sarah Ramirez was like a nightmare to work with.
I
Um
think it had a lot to do with her
or
vocalness on what was going
politics.
on.
Yeah, gotcha.
I think
Okay.
that helped them usher them out for sure.
Right. Not doing any favors. But so Che is super upset. Oh, and then the guy's like, "Okay, so does anyone else have a problem with the character of Che Diaz?" And everyone puts their hand up, which this would suck. Like this sucks. I get it.
Well, and it also showed that, like, maybe those people I liked the way that they did this because it actually the person who was giving the feedback was not, like, just some, like, middle America person being like, "Oh, I don't know. I just can't get on board with this, blah, blah, blah." It was a person who literally had lived the experience and was
Yeah, who lived in
giving
Brooklyn.
genuine
Like,
feedback about that. And
yes.
I liked that aspect of that a lot.
Yeah, and then they go and the button on the scene was them being like, and they could never afford that apartment on their salary,
Mhm.
which is again true, which was like so now that's over. But Miranda's now at home. Smash cut to them at home. Chase smoking a big blunt, a blizzle, and Chase super depressed, and Miranda is being it's like Miranda, like, why can't you read the room on how to like make this
I
I mean, I
think
see what she's doing, but
I saw something that, like, I've taken to heart about, suggesting that, like, when someone is upset or, like, in distress or whatever, it's okay to, like, at the beginning, ask, like, "Do you want solution? Do you want an
yes,
ear? Do you want, like, a shoulder to cry on, or do you want me to give solutions?" You know,
yeah,
because, like, my tendency often is to, like, "What can I do? Like, how can I help you?" Or, like, "What can we do?" But sometimes, like, I know even from myself, sometimes I don't want that. I just want a bitch and you just
yeah.
listen to me.
I just want
I
someone to be
don't
like, "That does suck," which
yeah, I don't need ideas right now. I'm in the low part. And that's kind of where Che is. And that's really and Miranda, all Miranda wants to do is be like, yeah, you're amazing. You're the
they're
best.
idiots. Fuck those people. And Shay's like, no, the person that hated me was a non-binary person from Brooklyn. This is like
Hmm.
the calls coming from inside the house. And they're like, Miranda, stop. Like, this is my life. And then Shay goes, how am I gonna afford this apartment? It's like, yeah, no shit. Why the fuck did you sign on this apartment when your pilot hadn't even been focus grouped yet?
Maybe this is gonna be Che's reason to run
No,
away and
here's the
have the
thing is, no.
phantom
They keep this
the
storyline going, and it actually makes sense. It's well done what they do with this now. Because then
okay.
now the rest of this season is kind of Che kind of down on their luck and kind of being like, I don't want to go back to stand up. This was so awful. This whole thing was so traumatic. So they're kind of trying to rebuild
Oh.
themselves up. So it's fine.
Hmm.
Great. So Che's like, I need space. Can you please stay at Naya's house tonight? Miranda's like, sure. If I'm Miranda, I'd be like, it's 8 p.m. This is where I am for the rest of the night.
It's also I don't know. There's a weird aspect about their relationship with like where most people you wouldn't be able to just be like, leave me. I need a few days. Leave me. You guys are like in a real committed, hardcore relationship where this bitch like went across the country for you. You've been like she left her family for you, et cetera, et cetera. And
Like an internship.
I just don't
Yeah.
think that makes sense to be like, you gotta like I need a few days away from you. Go stay somewhere else. What? It's not like they've been together for 20 years.
My ex said that he's like, I need a few days of just being alone. And I think in that time he ended up marrying someone else. Like something was happening. But then at the end, he like called me and he's like, I mean, it was the definition of gaslighting. But at that point, I was so over it. But he's like, I was testing you to like, you should have just showed up in like some big grand gesture at my house because you should have known that I needed somebody. But it's like, I knew that if I showed up, there'd be a chick there.
And show up at his wedding? Like
No,
for his
at his
secret
apartment.
wedding?
Because I think he thought I didn't know that he was like, obviously,
Babe.
you know.
Babe. The best thing that ever happened to you was getting out of that.
The best thing that ever happened to me was not getting pregnant.
Well, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
jeez.
The thing I said earlier about him. Seema now, so here's Seema finishing out this storyline. They fuck, he comes. She's like, can I finish myself off with my vibrator? And he's like, yeah. And she's like,
you're gonna do that in front of me. She's like, if you're gonna use a thing, then I'm gonna use a thing. I can't do her accent at all.
That's pretty good. And then he's
like, well, he like pulls his underwear on and he's like, wait, not cool. It's like, then make me come, bitch. God, if I was Seema, no. Then make me come, you dumb asshole. Oh my God, I have no patience for this shit. I don't have patience for that. Don't fucking come at me because I'm trying to get pleasure. I just let you come, little motherfucker, by riding your shit after you pumped it. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know. I would never even consider like, I'm going to finish myself off. I'm usually like, oh, okay, well, it's over. I can go to sleep now. Carrie now fucks the guy and they're in bed, or maybe they haven't even fucked yet. They're like about to fuck.
But
and then Paul, the business partner, calls on FaceTime. And he's like, oh my God, I just like
I hate when people call on FaceTime.
Oh, I don't answer it. I assume it's a butt dial. Paul's like, where's the app? And he's like, oh, I sent it to you. And he's like, well, you didn't send it. This is like on Dropbox.
And then the guy's like, oh my God. Oh shit. And then Paul's like, are you with her? Are you with her? It's weird.
Right. So then he leaves the phone in the bed and the guy's like, Paul's trying to talk to Carrie, like, hey, sorry about this. And Carrie's being way too weird about it. She's like slinking out of bed and like leaving. And then
it was weird though. I would feel uncomfortable because you're laying there and he's like, I just don't know what to do about him. You know, George is just pissing me off. Everything he does is just bugging me.
I think I would love that. You're getting the gossip. You're getting all this like drama. So okay. Carrie leaves and she's like, I'm leaving, George. And he's like, oh, why? And she's like, I think you said you weren't married, but you are, to your business partner. And it's like, this is so weird because it's not even like, it doesn't even seem like it's always like this. It's like this specific situation.
Exactly.
George had to do this thing. Paul probably wouldn't have to be on his ass like this.
And
George,
in fact, it felt like George was almost like he wasn't married to the business partner. He was like so not into it at all.
Right. Like, but then he also didn't care. Carrie's like, he's just like, bye. And he's like, oh, bye. So this guy, I don't know. Maybe.
What was the point of this storyline?
I think
what were we learning about Carrie?
I know what it is. It's that they got this guest actor because it was the news that whole week that this guy was on and just like that.
But you can't even find who he is.
Yeah, hang on, let me find it. I do want to actually figure out who this is. Okay, so this is episode or season 2. Oh my God. Okay, it's called what? God, hang on, Joan. Hold on, Joan. Met Cute, Alive, Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
This is gonna be so worth it. Okay, let's see here. Harry, Chay Diaz, George Camp. His name is Peter Herman. Oh my God, he's in that fucking commercial. Oh, you know what? He was in Suits. I bet. I think he was in Suits.
That name is very.
Oh, maybe he's not. He was in United 93 and Philomena.
Oh.
What the fuck is he from? Why is this like such a big deal? He was in the Michael J. Fox show, Bored to Death. He was on an episode of 30 Rock.
Okay.
Well, he was in Sex and the City.
He was?
Yeah, he was in the show, the episode, season 6, episode 6, Hop, Skip, and a Week, and he played David.
Well, we'll have to see when we get to that. Season 6, we've got a
In
bit to
so
go.
many years. So he's not from Suits. Well, I don't know why this was a huge deal that he was in this, but Blue Bloods and Law and Order Special
Okay.
Victim Unit and Younger. Ugh,
He is in Younger.
okay,
He
that's what
plays like Sutton Foster's like one of like
Younger man.
she has two guys that she's like
Oh. He's the
he's the
Hugh
older
Jackman.
of the
He's the
younger.
Hugh Jackman. That steamy couple.
Yeah. Okay, what else? Is that it?
Yeah, look at the time
Oh,
here.
wow.
I love
We
this.
finger blasted through that. One thing
We
I
did.
saw was this week I was watching Watch What Happens Live, which I knew because it accompanies, the Bravo
I
shows.
love when Patty LuPone goes on that, by the way.
Love. I've also been watching Agatha All Along.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, but I meant to ask that on the roundup. So let's talk about that here. What is this? Please, my love. It's this TikTok thing where it's like Aubrey Plaza saying like, "So I'm sorry, my love," and then she's going, "Please, my love." Is this not a trend you've seen yet? Because it's coming up every like
No,
fourth thing on me.
I haven't.
Where the witches say to each other something, "My love," and then Catherine Hahn says, "Please, my love," and then they kiss. Do you know anything about the storyline?
I haven't made it through all the episodes yet.
Oh, well,
But I
probably
do
just
know
spoiled
they
it for
make
you.
out.
Oh.
Aubrey Plaza didn't want to do anything to do with Marvel, but then because it had Catherine Hahn in it,
Oh, yeah.
she was like, "Oh, okay, I'll do it." And
Catherine Hahn and Toni Collette need an Oscar each.
agreed. They play like like
Yeah, I know.
former
Well,
lovers in the
yeah.
show.
I've been trying to
And
figure out what this trend is, though, but maybe you can tell me. I'll send one to you next time it comes up.
anyway, I wanted this to be to an hour, so
This is fine. We're fine. Just end it. End it. It's so hot.
you guys, here's what we're about to jump right on into is our Patreon episode. So go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/podinthecity.
And check out our weekly roundup.
Check out our weekly roundups every week on our YouTube page. Hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment, all that shit. We love you guys so much. And I guess we're done.
Yeah, let's
Our
see what's
shortest
coming up.
episode ever.
No, let's see what's coming up next week, though. I think it's called Bomb Cyclone. It's actually a pretty good episode. There's some good fashion in it.
Okay. Tell me.
Well, no, I can't figure it out. Bomb Cyclone. Well, but I will tell you about it. It's a good episode, and Steve finally gets his comeuppance a little bit. Everyone loves the scene.
I can't wait. I love Steve. I know I can't remember who said it, but Daddy Steve. He was hotter when he was on originally, I think, but he's still hot. I'd still fuck him. Oh, what I was going to say is on Watch What Happens Live, they played a game about short men and it compared the heights of all of these different men. And I was fucking shook. I was shook the house down boots about the heights of some of these people.
Name
like, I can't remember right now, but it was people where it was like, oh, that person's 5'6". Like that Bono is 5'6" and Billy Joel is 5'5".
I could see that.
Billy Joel is 5'5"?
Yeah, he looks short.
Anyway, I just was shook because I'm almost 6'2", so I expect most men to be around like almost 6 feet, or else I am like, oh, you're kind of short, but not in a judgy way. Just yeah.
I have the description for next week. Bomb Cyclone with Chay in a rut following a dismal TV focus group. Carrie asked them to join her at a conference where there'll be a where she'll be the keynote speaker. Lily announces she's ready to lose her virginity.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I forgot about all that. Miranda broaches an uncomfortable conversation with Steve.
Can't wait for that. Guys, we love you so fucking much.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see you next week. I can't wait to see you every time. And that's it.
Yeah, see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.